We're back with our Saturday midweek update for December 13th, and after reviewing ownership movement and fresh reporting, we're pivoting off yesterday's Stafford Puka, CMC Kittle Texans defensive core, and building around a Bengals-centric stack with targeted leverage. At quarterback, we're moving back to Joe Burrow at 6,600, dash rank 100, projected 18 against Baltimore, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 22. He's at a very playable 4.1% ownership, averaging 15 fantasy points per game with 25, 19, and 9 in his last three. The current QB rankings conversation at Essentially Sports specifically calls out Burrow in the Week 15 decision set, and the league announcement coverage around the Bengals last week, plus the piece questioning his future with Cincinnati, add to the motivation angle. This projection is reliable for a long-time starter, and the why is simple. We're getting a proven ceiling at low ownership in a matchup that isn't scaring us off, with correlation to our primary wideout. At running back, we're flipping from yesterday's Christian McCaffrey back to Derrick Henry at 7,300, dash rank 100, projected 16 against Cincinnati, who have the absolute worst defense overall with an opponent rank of 32. Ownership near 14.17% is fair for this spot. He's averaging 16 per game, with 11, 17, and 23 in his last three. The recent headlines noting Henry climbing the NFL all-time rushing list reinforce that he's still a volume and touchdown bet, and this is the premier overall defensive matchup on the slate. We're prioritizing price-adjusted access to a game script that favors sustained carries and red zone chances. At wide receiver, we're reversing yesterday's move off the Bengals and stacking Jamar Chase at 8,100, dash rank 100, projected 20 against Baltimore, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 22. He's 31.9% owned, averaging 20 per game with 10, 21, and 6 in his last three. We're fine eating the chalk at wideout because the leverage sits at quarterback. Burrow plus Chase gives us correlated upside with the salary and ownership dynamics working in our favor. The discipline headlines around Chase the past 2 weeks are noise for our purposes. The more relevant signal is volume and efficiency in a matchup that isn't penal. If we're betting on Burrow bounce-back sentiment from the QB rankings chatter, we want the alpha attached. At tight end, we're moving off yesterday's George Kittle and back to Trey McBride at 7,400, dash rank 100, projected 16 against Houston, who have a tough defense overall with an opponent rank of 1. The matchup is hard, which is exactly why we like the ownership discount at just 3.9%. He's averaging 19 with 11, 22, and 17 in his last three, and multiple pieces this week highlight that he's leading tight ends in receiving production and has a shot at the record books. The why over matchup, elite role, sustained target volume, and leverage created by the field shying away due to the opponent's overall strength. In the flex, we're taking a tournament stance on Ashton Jeanty at 5,800, dash rank 100, projected 14 against Philadelphia, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 14. He's just 1.27% owned, averaging 14 with 6, 12, and 25 in his last three. The reporting out of Las Vegas about moving on from the high-priced offensive coordinator and Janty's comments that it's back to run and play action is the key here. The role clarity and draft capital give us a high upside path at low ownership. We're buying talent, projected touches, and price. Defense, we're rolling back to the Chiefs at 3,300, dash rank 100, projected 8 against the Chargers, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 22. Ownership at 4.13% keeps us differentiated from the most popular mid-tier options. This is a pressure and takeaway angle in a divisional spot, and shifting off yesterday's Texans pick balances, our Bengals stack builds without overexposing to one-game environment. Value time. starting at quarterback with Cameron Ward at 4,600, dash rank 74, projected 13 against San Francisco, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 16. He's currently unowned, averaging 11 with 12, 6, and 24 in his last three. The headlines on his modest rookie Madden rating and number one pick status tell the story. Volatile, but talented. As a punt, he opens salary while acknowledging that projections for a rookie without extensive starting history are less bankable than for veterans. At running back, Rasheen Ali at 4,000, dash rank 42, projected 3 against Cincinnati, who have the absolute worst defense overall with an opponent rank of 32, is a large field dart only. He's 1.3% owned with 3, 2, and 0 in his last 3 and a 1 point per game average. The Y is purely price and matchup leverage in a spot where any uptick in touches could pay off the minimum. At wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy at 4,400, dash rank 100, projected 9 against Chicago, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 24, is a low-owned 1.2% tournament piece. He's averaging 8 with 17, 6, and 4 in his last 3. The Browns' coverage this week highlighted Shedeur Sanders' early starts and growing pains, which actually helps Judy's profile as a volatile downfield outlet. If the connection hits, you're beating the field at low cost. At tight end, Theo Johnson at 3,500, dash rank 96, projected 10 against Washington, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 30, stands out at 9.77% ownership. He's averaging 9 with 4, 11, and 7 in his last 3. The New York reporting has Jackson Dart settling in at quarterback, and the drumbeat of believers around Theo supports a stable red zone role at a salary that fits stars and scrubs builds. Secondary flex punt, Daniel Bellinger at 2,500, dash rank 36, projected 4 against Washington, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 30, is a pure salary saver at 1.3% ownership. He's posted zeros in his last 3, so this is strictly a large field double tight end construction to unlock premium spends elsewhere when you want extra exposure to Giants commanders. Deep savings on defense. The Raiders at 2,000, dash rank 33, projected 5 against Philadelphia, who have a tough defense overall with an opponent rank of 10, sit at 2.3% owned. Use them only when the salary unlock is vital. You're betting on low-scoring variance and a turnover or 2. To summarize the changes from yesterday's video, we pivoted our core stack back to Burrow and Chase because the Bengals' passing game now offers a better ownership to upside ratio than Stafford Puka, and the QB rankings plus narrative pieces around Burrow give us confidence in the ceiling. We moved from McCaffrey to Derrick Henry to exploit the absolute worst overall defensive matchup on the slate at a friendlier salary. We flipped tight end back to Trey McBride for elite role and leverage despite a tough overall opponent, and we swapped defense from the Texans back to the Chiefs for a low-owned divisional pressure angle. Ginty joins the pool as a low-owned flex driven by the Raiders' reported offensive shift toward the run and play action.